Today on the workbench we have an Xbox Elite Series controller. These controllers are expensive. I think they're in the ballpark of $160 to $180 to buy brand new. And then they sell a core replacement which fluctuates in price from like $90 to $120. And they break. They break all the time. The sticks drift and the bumpers, the LB and the RB, go bad. All I can say for you is that if you want this controller because you really like the way that they work, buy them at a store that sells you a protection plan at a reduced cost, because you're going to need it. This customer brought us this one because the LB and RB weren't working properly. You can see on the screen here a little controller testing website, and I can mash all sorts of buttons and you'll see them register on the screen. Now if I go to press the right bumper, you see nothing. I have to press it with an extreme amount of force, and then I can kind of get it to register. They said the left bumper also doesn't work properly. That one I can mostly get to register, but I can see, depending on how you play, if you kind of tap it on the outside, it's intermittent. I'm actually pressing that. Yeah, right there. It's just not working with every click. Right there, it's not working. And I'm pressing it over and over right now. So, we're going to replace both of those, and then they're going to work like new. First thing we got to do is get this guy open. I'm going to show you a helpful tip on how we do that. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take off the stick and D-pad pieces and put them in a safe spot so that you don't lose them. And then, I'm going to unplug that. The faceplate is held on with an adhesive, and it's on there pretty good. And you got to just pry it up because there's the adhesive you have to push past, as well as clips that clip it on. So it's okay if you break the adhesive because the clips hold it on really good, but Microsoft decided it needed adhesives. So we're going to slide a tool underneath here and pop that up enough that I can get my fingers under there. Then I'm going to do the other side just the same. I get my fingers under there, and then I can pull it up. And here you can see it's kind of hanging on by some of that adhesive. I try to keep the adhesive intact so that it can kind of do its job again afterward. Then you need to get these stick caps off before you can remove the core of it from the body. I like to use some pliers. You can use forceps. When I first started doing this, someone taught me grab the thumbstick and put it on there and twist. And you certainly can do that. So you can see I'm doing it right now. But the reason I would advise against that, to at least get it started, is because I've seen the rubber on these break free, and then you got a spinny rubber part, and that's like, no one's going to be happy with that. So I say grab some pliers and just get them started. Make sure you grip them firmly so that you don't strip any of the parts there. Once they are kind of started, then grab the removable thumb cap to make it easy to twist them off. And same thing when you go to put them on. I would put them on with the thumb cap, and then just at the very end, a slight snug with the pliers. So you can see after I broke free the initial tension, because they use like Loctite or something to put these on there, and I mean that's fine because they need to stay on there good. Once you get those off, then there's 6 screws. 5 of them are exposed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's one under the sticker because they need to know if you tampered with it. And like I say, once you pull off the faceplate and you put it back on, you really can't tell that it's been opened before. So they got that tamper evident sticker there, which I assume if you put a screw through that, you're going to void your warranty through Microsoft, as though they would warranty it anyway, because I think they consider it normal wear and tear for these parts to fail, and you're not likely to get a warranty anyway. If Microsoft wants to step in and say, oh, we'll definitely guarantee our controllers, have at it. Okay, so I'm going to take the screws out and get this out of here. Once you have the circuit board portion of this sucker out of the casing, the area that we're going to hone in on is right here and right here. This being the left side and this being the right side. Of course, it's upside down. So you got to know your lefts from your rights. Left side, right side. Okay, when you press these here, it's clicking this little button right here. That makes sense? See that? So yeah, press the button up here and it clicks down on this guy right here. So those are the parts we're going to remove. We need to work on them from the back side. So again, you're right here and right here. Let's take a look under the scope. So we're going to be using flux and low melt solder. Now I don't need to take this circuit board out of the controller shell. You certainly could if you like spending the additional time to do that. But here I have my low melt solder stick, and I'm going to flow low melt removal solder into the unleaded solder that's on the board. And I'm going to use a generous amount of it. The nice thing about the removal solder is it not only lowers the melting temperature of the solder on there, but it stays melted longer. So I'm going to take some time to really make sure that all of the alloy mixes with this stuff. And you can use more flux if you feel like it's not flowing. Flux helps with the flow of solder. Okay. And then I'm just going to push it through. See that? Now from the other side, I can just grab it with a pair of tweezers. And I know that's out of focus, but let me get it while it's still melted. Now the part is gone, and I can use some desoldering braid to wick that up. I'm going to use, I don't want to be extending long pieces of braid in here and touching other things, so I'm just going to clip it each time I get some. Keep the used portion of that short. Now this is something I think anyone could do at home if they simply have a soldering iron that can generate a decent amount of heat. And then you gotta buy the basic tools like desoldering braid and flux and solder. Now I'm going to clean this up with some IPA. Okay. Sorry if I moved that out of the camera. My binoculars see a larger field of vision than what the camera does. And so sometimes I can see what I'm doing and I don't realize that it bumps out of the field of the camera. But there you can see the part is removed now. I'm going to do the other side as well. Alright, just like that, we have that part out. And here we have brand new replacement. And these are going to go on from the other side. Now you can even see on the circuit board, it has a little drawing showing you which way it goes. But they only go one way, so it seems like that would be pretty hard to screw up. There's one. There's two. We want to make sure that those are all the way down and resting flat. Then back on the soldering side of the board, you can flow in some solder. You touch your pen to the board and the pin, and then hold it there for a little bit. Make sure that you don't have a cold solder joint. Okay? And just do that to each of them. Okay. Good. After you solder it, go ahead and clean it up with some alcohol. Okay, Q-tips work pretty good. You could also use a brush. Brush is getting all the crevices, which is nice. And we got the other side still. Let's poof that out of the way. And poof. Alright, these buttons are back on. And so now we're gonna get it put back together and test it. Okay, now if you know me at all from my videos, you know that I always test before I put it all the way back together, because if somewhere I screwed up or I have a faulty part, I want less work to go back to soldering and replacing the part again. So I'm not going to put it all the way back together until I know that it works. So here we are. You should see the controller on the screen there, and I'm going to press the right bumper. Looking pretty good. I'm doing taps and I'm going to hold. And then I'm going to do the left side. Lots of taps and then hold. And these are working great. So now I can put it all the way, rest of the way back together. And there it is, all the way back together. You can definitely say it doesn't look like it's ever been opened. That's as long as you take it apart properly and know what you're doing. So this guide should help with that. If you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment, let me know what you think. Tell me what you think in the comments about Microsoft and their production of low quality products at premium prices. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching.